Today's warm-up, we had to remember how to do the order of operations while we were applying integer rules. Now we just have to keep in mind that simplify means, of course, to solve, bring it down to its simplest form. And we want to make sure that we funnel down because that's the clearest way to show all of our work. So I know the first thing I want to pay attention to is P, parentheses. I've got some parentheses here and here, but those are really just there to separate this negative sign from the operation in front of it. What I really want to pay attention to are those brackets, which I know are not parentheses, but they're grouping symbols, which is really what we're referencing when we talk about parentheses. So I'm going to underline first everything that's outside of the brackets, or those set of grouping symbols, and I've got addition and division inside those brackets. So I know I want to do division first. I've underlined everything I'm not going to do. I know that negative 33 divided by 3 is negative 11. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. Okay, so I still have something inside the parentheses that I need to attend to right here, and that's 1 plus negative 11. Those signs are different. I use the larger absolute value, and I find the difference of those two numbers. So negative 11 plus 1 gives me the difference between the absolute values. 11 and 1 is 10, and the larger absolute value is on that negative 11, so I know this is negative 10. I have to make sure I bring down that squared because negative 10 is squared. And then bring down the rest of my problem. Okay, next, I'm all done with the parentheses, so the next thing I want to pay attention to is exponents. I've got an exponent right here. I'm going to underline everything that I'm not going to do right now. I've got negative 10 squared. That, of course, means negative 10 times negative 10. A negative times a negative will always give me a positive, and 10 times 10 is 100. So now bring down the rest of the problem that I haven't done anything to. I'm done with all the exponents, so the next thing that I want to do is multiplication and division in order from left to right. So as I go left to right across this problem, the first thing I run into is multiplication. I've got negative 4 times 7. Well, 4 times 7 is 28. A negative times a positive is always negative. Bring down the rest of the problem. If I continue going across this problem from left to right, I now run into a division problem. So I've got 6 divided by negative 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, and positive divided by a negative is a negative. Bring down the rest of that problem. Next, I'm all done with multiplication and division, so now I've got addition and subtraction in order from left to right. So I go from left to right across this problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is negative 28 minus negative 3. I'm going to underline the positive or plus 100. I'm actually going to go on to another page. I'm running out of room here. So I've got negative 28 minus negative 3 plus 100. That's what I just carried over from the other side. And I'm doing that addition and subtraction in order from left to right. So, again, I'm going to be doing this, underlining what I'm not doing. So I've got a negative or minus a negative here. So I'm going to stay, change, change, cha-cha-cha. I'm always doing the math cha-cha-cha here. And now I've got the signs are different, so I find the difference of those absolute values. The absolute value of negative 28 is 28. Absolute value of positive 3 is 3, so I'm going to subtract 28 minus 3. That gives me 25. The larger absolute value is here, so that's negative 25. Bring down the rest of my problem, plus 100. So now I'm adding negative 25 plus 100. Again, those signs are different, so I need to find the difference of their absolute values. Let me just flip-flop this around here. So I've got 100 minus 25, because those are the two absolute values. 100 minus 25 is 75. I take the sign of the larger absolute value, and that is positive. So the final answer is positive 75.